Nothing about the sports is fake. So to add that little chicken talk in the press conference and stuff like that doesn't make sense. You know, this isn't WWE or anything like that. This is boxing. This is 100% real. All that blood in my last fight, from me and Tim Su, that was real, 100% real. You know, and after the fight, it's all smiles. So, you know, this is boxing. Again, that's what we do.
Sebastian, how has the boxing life treated you?
It's been good. It's been an exciting ride. I feel like I've been here my whole life in the boxing world. My father teaching us boxing at a young age and traveling together as a family to all these boxing tournaments, then starting a professional career, and with my first couple of fights, fighting in Mexico, Argentina, Uruguay. It's been a trip.
Yeah, were you forced into boxing, or was your choice? And how do you feel from this choice you made?
No, I never felt forced into the sport. My older brother started boxing before us, and one summer he went all around, traveling all around with my father. So they had that one-on-one time, and I'm sure not just only me, but the rest of my siblings looked at that. I was like, oh, whoa, we want to travel to the United States and do some things. But of course, we had a box to do that. So I started boxing, and when he came back that summer, he started training us. We started training in the backyard, doing mitts, doing a little sparring, and yeah, it was good.
Well, just like the old-time boxing, right?
Absolutely.
Old-time boxing, they run, hit the bag, hit the mitts, spar, hit the speed bag, and that's it. Today, there's a lot of technology with nutrition and different exercises. Do you feel these technologies have made stronger fighters?
I guess it depends on how you work. A lot of these fighters use a lot of these modern day technologies, all these workout rituals of today. We try to keep it a little bit more old school. You know, we work on our strengths, our speeds, our natural talent. Of course, they're hard workouts. You can't go wrong with the old things, you know. And like the saying goes, if it's not broken, or if it's good, you don't need to fix it. I don't know how it goes, but it's a good quote. It's a good quote. But you know, if you know, you use what you have, and my father, our trainer, definitely helps us with that. You know, and we just get better at what we're doing, whether it's being 6'6" or being a talented fighter. You know, he just helps us grow with that.
Yeah. Well, in the early stages of your career, were other kids intimidated by your height?
I was always taller than everybody. I wasn't extremely tall in the beginning. It wasn't until I was like 14 years old in middle school. I remember in 7th grade, everybody was maybe 5'2", 5 feet. And I swear it happened like one day. I came to school, I was 6'2". So I was taller than the teachers, taller than everybody. I always been a friendly person. I don't intimidate people. I like to give respect like they give me, and that's how it's always been.
All of your press conferences and weigh-ins and face-offs, you have always been a gentleman. You have always respected very much your opponents. Has anybody pulled that on you to make you?
I think the most they do now is probably try to stand in front of me during the face-off, or when we're trying to flex for the cameras. They'll try, you know, there's like this new little trend where they stand in front of you and they expect you to push them or they push you, and that's the big thing. But, you know, I always think, I was like, you can't cover me. Look how tall I am. You guys aren't going to be able to cover me, you know. So that's my solution to that. This one time I extended my hand for a handshake after the weigh-in, after the face-off, and he looked at me and he turned around. So I was like, you know what, maybe I won't do that anymore. More of a embarrassing moment for me, but you know, it's just, we go through it. I won that fight. I won that fight by knockout. So in the end of the day, you know, as long as you do your work, everything will come out straight.
What do you think about boxers doing that? You know, to build up the fight.
Well, I guess everybody has their own style. I'm not a fan of it. I feel like we do a lot in the ring already. Every word that we want to exchange during the fight week, we exchange it in that ring with fists. We're going to go in there, we're going to punch each other in the face. That's the loudest of words you can speak, you know? And then after that, you see them embrace with a hug, or this was a great fight, all smiles. So it's no reason to be fake.
And most boxers, after their boxing career is done, they're really good friends. I don't remember any animosity between fighters. With sparrings are fights. With gear, with bigger gloves, but they are real fights. And you build like a brotherhood, right? Between boxers.
Absolutely. With sparring, we call in people for sparring, for Gavi sparring, and they stay in the home with us. And we do plenty of rounds, way more than the fight. We do a lot of rounds. And after working out or after sparring, we go to the house and we eat dinner together. You don't share dinners with enemies. You don't do that. But in boxing, there's no enemies. It's like you said, a brotherhood. You know, we all want the same thing. We all want to become world champion, and we're all going to have to face each other sooner or later. But you know, it's just a colleague or whatever. You want the best for yourself, because of course this is a sport that you do for only yourself. But in the end, it's the same dream. We all want the same thing, and I think with that type of dreams, we bond together. To me, we bond together, and it's just a big family.
Yeah. California has become the capital of the world, the boxing capital of the world. Everybody goes there to train. Everybody has been there. Is it true that it is a boxing, the capital of boxing?
Absolutely, absolutely. You go to every corner in LA, there's going to be a boxing gym, you know. Boxing is a big deal in California. Before that, we lived in Florida, but I remember my dad would always tell us, California is where we need to be for boxing. If we move to California, we're going to grow in boxing. So we did that, and ever since, it's just been boxing all around, you know?
Yeah. Is there rivalries between gyms? Like, you know, I don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I like to think of the Chinese movies where they bring this paper to challenge the other.
I want your dojo. No, it's, they do that. There's a lot of rivalries, maybe a little bit too much, but it's the sport of boxing. This is a competition sport, just like countries fight each other. It's just like the gyms too. It could be your backyard or your neighbor, but this is a competition sport, so it's good for the sport.
Yeah. And for you, when does the boxer clicks?
Well, I think of it as a job. I clock in as soon as I get to where I'm going that fight week, whether it's LA, Vegas, or Texas, Dallas. As soon as I land from the airport or we get there by car, as soon as we step into the hotel, it's fight mode. You see me smiling and I'm very friendly, but it's fight time. It's fight time and all of its business, and let's get to work. Me being alone, I don't favor that. I don't like that really. I like my father and my sister around me always. I need my family around me. That's my balance right there. But yes, you do need that concentration. They give me my concentration, so that's what I use.
Yeah. Where do you get that sensitivity to catch, I mean, to know that a punch is coming?
You get that from training every single day. You don't ask your left foot or your right foot to go forward when you're taking a step or walking. So you do it every single day until it becomes a normal reaction. A normal reaction, you become almost a superhero with boxing.
Where is your sight? Where you focus your on your rival?
While I'm fighting?
Yeah.
I look at the shoulders and I look at the feet. Because the shoulders, you're going to see where the first react. This is where it first starts, so you're going to see where it comes from. And then the feet, whether they're stepping in or they're stepping out. It gives you more time. Before, you're not going to look at the bullet. Someone has a gun, you're not going to look at the bullet while it's right in front of you. It's too late already. The punch, if you're looking at the fist, and the fist is right in your face, it's already too late. I'm gonna look at the gun, or I'm gonna look at the hand movement before he even pulls it out. You gotta be able to read the predictions, you know, with boxing, and I think boxing helps with it.
Yeah, that's a great example. And do you have any rituals, or like I said before, you have to wear like red underwear or whatever to feel more confidence?
I don't. Actually, I used to wear a headband and a rosary, but this last fight, I feel like I didn't need it anymore. I wanted to do something a little different. I have my family always with me. My family, I definitely need, I always need that, and I will always have them in my corner, so that I don't worry about. For some reason, I like to do little circles around in my dressing room. I always do little circles before the fight, before they call me out to step into that ring. But I do my prayers while I'm doing those circles. I always do my prayers for the fighter, for myself, for everything to go well, and that's my ritual.
Yeah. Left to right, or right to left? I mean, clockwise?
Clockwise. I do clockwise. Always clockwise. Always clockwise. And I do it probably like 100 times.
Of course, there's a spiritual thing that things should be clockwise. Even if it's counterclockwise, it's
for the devil. It's for the devil.
Have you ever been afraid? Is a boxer afraid?
Afraid, maybe not. Nervous, yes. And it's not because of boxing. We do this every single day. I'm not afraid of my job. It's just being nervous about how you're gonna show yourself to the world, how they're gonna see you. And of course they have if they don't like you, they're not gonna like you anyways. I know that now. But it's just, I don't know, you wanna do the best for yourself. And you want everybody to see you the way you see yourself. So it's more of something like that. It's just, you're fighting yourself. Your biggest opponent is yourself, and you just have to get over that. I felt with this last fight, I definitely got over that. My father told me while we were getting announced in the ring, our names, he told me, this is the most relaxed I've ever seen you. And I felt to myself, I was like, we speak the same language, we're always in sync, and that's good.
Yes, and about this last fight, you both have had big cuts and a lot of blood. It was very. Where do you get the strength to overcome such obstacles? Because I'm sure you can breathe well.
Just the fact that you do it every day. You know what you can do, and only you know that. Maybe your coach as well, but only you know your limits. That definitely wasn't my limit. I've been there before. I've been through those moments before, so I know what I have to do to get to the top or to win this fight. And I felt like I displayed it that Saturday.
People that don't know boxing, they don't understand. How can anybody keep going and going in such a circumstance?
It's intimidating. All that blood's very intimidating. All those people watching you at the same time is very intimidating. The fact that you're on TV and even more people are watching you are intimidating, and they want you to win, and they come to you and they tell you, I betted this much money. I betted the whole house on you. I need you to win this. Very intimidating. But again, we do this every single time. We do this every day. I have 23 fights now. I've been doing this since I was 18 years old, professional. You have to get used to it. And if you don't get used to it, maybe think of a different career.
Yeah. How does an injury during the fight changes your plan? Do you think that you have to finish before because this is gonna get worse? What happens in your mind?
I guess that depends on the fighter. You know, how you want to finish the fight. I feel like if you have a fight like Better Beef when he fought the English guy. He had a big cut in his head, a big cut. And maybe to him, he felt he had to finish that guy.
Badujak?
No, it wasn't Badujak.
No?
It was Yard. I think Anthony Yard.
Uh-huh.
Anthony Yard. And he had a big cut. And really awkward cut because it kept falling in his eyes. And I'm pretty sure in his mind, because he has that 100% knockout ratio, he had to go in there and finish the guy. And he did. He looked spectacular doing it. But with me, especially with this last camp, I had a whole year of training since the last fight before that with that loss. I just want to use my brain. Let me use my brain. And whatever came to that, whether it was a knockout or decision, I just keep doing what I've been doing, stick to the plan, use my brain, use my distance, and that's how I overcame that.
Yeah, I just had an interview with Rafael Marquez, and on the fourth fight with Israel Vasquez, Marquez said that he got to with Israel, and told him, your eyelid, and Vasquez said, it doesn't matter, just let's keep punching. Do you ever talk? Do you have any interaction with your opponent during the fight?
I don't. I don't speak during fights. You know, we have the mouthpiece in, but some people do actually speak. When I get spoken to, they're not nice words. So they're not nice words. I'm sure maybe after a fourth fight, fighting that guy for the fourth time, you would feel that bond, that brotherhood. You know, you guys shared blood. You probably have part of his blood in your blood already. So, but maybe I'll look forward to that if I ever get a rematch with somebody, or I get a third fight or a fourth fight.
If you get mad, you lose. If you get angry, you lose.
Yes, you do. You got to keep level-headed. You got to keep yourself level-headed. That's very important, that you hold your emotions in and you know, focus on what you've been doing. And with this fight, I felt I stuck to the plan. I kept using my jab. I kept using my distance. There was times where I felt like, yes, I think I could get this job done and stop him. But that wasn't what we trained on. We trained on using the distance. Now, if I hurt him from using the distance, I would have finished it right there, but it didn't seem. This guy was a tough fighter. He's a world champion, you know, Australia's best. But we just stuck to our plan. We stayed cool-headed. We didn't get mad or angry. There's nothing to be angry about. And look where I was at. I was fighting main event in Las Vegas, you know. I was just so happy to be there.
Yeah. You didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this one, right?
No, they called us with 11 days or something like that. It was a Sunday that they called us. My sister, myself, and my father, we were doing the fence for our property so our dogs don't leave the property no more. And our promoter calls us. He says Keith Thurman has an injury on his bicep, and they might drop the whole card. You know, this is the first card for Amazon Prime Video, working with PBC, so it was a big deal. But there's one way to do it. There's one way to fix this. If you take the fight with Tim Sue. And just with that alone, such a big name, a main event fight in Las Vegas and his pay-per-view, I was willing to say yes. But then they throw in the we were already fighting for WBC, but they throw in the WBC and the WBO, so it's a unification fight. That was a legacy fight. I had to say yes. If I was gonna say yes, I would have hung up the gloves. You know, that was only two options: either hang up the gloves or take that fight. And of course, I took the fight.
But that's what living as a fighter, 360 days, 65 days a year gives you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You weren't ready if you weren't in that. I mean, 11 days is nothing for such a big fight.
No, but you got to be ready. With boxing, everything changes always. Everything changes always. These past couple of years with COVID or with my whole career, one day I'm fighting this guy and then the next day I'm fighting this guy. That wasn't the first time that happened to me, actually. So I was ready for whatever.
Yeah. And for you, is it a big sacrifice? Your boxing life?
No, and that depends on how you want to look at it. If you're a big partier, you like to drink, you like to smoke, you like hanging out with your friends, and I don't do that, so I'm not going to judge you. It's not my job to judge, but it's not hard for me. It's not hard for me. My life is boxing. Like my sister said, we do this every single day. Maybe I'm not doing it right now because I'm here in Mexico City. I have my gym, but we do this all the time. We do this all the time, and it's a lifestyle. Without boxing, I feel like I'd be lost.
What do you hear when you're fighting? When you're in the middle of the fight, do you hear your father's voice from the crowd?
I only hear my father's voice. Well, besides that, now I hear my sister now that she works the corner as well, but those are the only two voices I hear. And those are the only two voices I want to hear. I guess the ref's right there in your face. So, but other than that, those are the only two voices I like to hear.
Yeah. I know you trust your father 100%. Has there ever been a time when he says you have to do this or that, and you think, no, I don't think so. I think I should do something else. Has that ever happened to you?
In boxing?
Yeah.
Yes, there's sometimes, but my father, when he speaks, it's like you have to listen to him. Like, and it usually we've been in sync. This past year, I feel like we've really been in sync, and like everything that he says, everything that he predicts, it comes true. So like, if that isn't a sign to me that hey, you better listen to your dad, and I always listen to my dad, but this even more. I have to listen now. I have to listen now because my mom tells me too that you have an angel on your shoulder. You have an angel. Well, I think my angel is my dad. He guides me. So there's that.
Because I've heard stories about fighters saying, "No, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that." Rafael Marquez said, but because he listened to his manager, his coach, he lost the last round and he lost the fight because they changed the fight plan on that last round. So I mean, I've heard stories about that.
There's mistakes. Not everybody's perfect with things, but as long as you feel that it works with you, that's all you need.
Yeah, and when you don't party, you don't drink nothing. You were drinking Cokes last night. And water.
Yeah, that's my part right there, Coca-Cola.
But what do you like to do besides boxing? You like to dance, or I don't know?
Well, recently we bought 20 acres of land, and now we have 8 dogs, big dogs. They're my size. They're all my size, and I just stay around the land. Obviously I do boxing, but other than that, we do some hiking, maybe play with the dogs. I used to like bowling, but where we live now, don't really have a bowling alley. I hang out with my siblings. I play video games. Not too much of a big gamer. I'm not good at games, but I like to play it. But if I want someone to talk to, I talk to my family. The house is full of people.
When a boxer has a knockout, sometimes it's the end of their career or the beginning of the end. A punch can make the difference in a fight.
Absolutely.
Like it happened in that one. Did you feel uncomfortable? Did you question yourself how you were gonna come back?
Yeah, actually I did. But I kept that to myself. My family, my father, my sister, they keep me up. So if ever looking down, they'll put my head back up like, no, this is what we're doing. This is what we focus on. And it didn't last too long. I was probably on break for 2 weeks. We went back into camp. They kept throwing dates at us. We were supposed to have a rematch with him, but they took that away. And then they gave us another name, but they took that away. They almost gave us a whole year to work. But we were ready. We were ready back in August of last year. We were ready to go back in with whoever. That's how ready I felt already. But, you know, they gave us that year, and I'm not complaining. It was, everything happens for a reason, you know. And they threw Bolshuk at us, and for a full fight with the WBC and the full title, we were ecstatic about that. That was, you know, we know Serhi, good friend of mine, but, you know, that's boxing. Like we've been talking, this is a brotherhood, we both want that, and I was excited for that fight. And it was going to be pay-per-view on the first Amazon card. So that was big news. And then, like we've been talking about, then they came out with the Tim Tszyu fight, and that was even better news. I was like, oh, my comeback is going to be a real good one.
Yeah. When Bohachuk, he talked about you guys sparring, and he says that you never stop throwing punches. But not only that, because you could throw a million punches. You're a great fighter, good punches, not just throwing like that, you know. So he has great respect for you.
No, it's mutual respect. With their careers, I remember 1-0 with me, 1-0 with him, 2-0, 2-0, and you would see the steady pace of us growing at the same time. It wasn't until maybe 2020, 2019 that, of course, we went our different ways, two different gyms. We weren't sparring too much anymore, and well, we're in the same division, so that makes sense as well. And but I'm happy that he's the interim champion. If we fight later on in our careers, I'll gladly accept it because he's a great fighter, and it'll be good show for everybody and all the boxing fans. But I wish him well, and I'm very proud of him.
Yeah. Does anything worry you? I'm talking in general, in life, in boxing?
The stuff I worry about is not even really worth worrying about, because if they happen, they're gonna happen. Like, say maybe like death, boom, or if I lose everything all at once, it's just gonna happen, and I have no control over that. So yeah, I do worry about it, but it's not even worth worrying about it, because if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Do you believe in fate, that we have a path already planned?
I do think so. I do think so. Now you just have, it's up to you to stay on that path, and see if you take advantage of it, you know. My dad I feel like he sees into the future, like years ahead of us, and he can tell. And like I said, he's been able to predict everything lately. And you know, just again, if I want to stick on that path, I gotta stick on it, and continue to work hard, and continue to do this or that, and everything will work out.
Yeah. Yeah. God, the creator, whatever, gave us free will.
Yes.
And that free will is the thing that makes us fight for what we want.
Absolutely.
Even though we think there's a path, maybe you say, "Oh, well, I mean, you know, I'm gonna."
I want to take a shortcut there, or I'm ready for it now. No, you gotta stay where you're at.
Is there a difference fighting in your town or in your state that fighting outside?
There is. You know, people from your place is gonna come and support you, and maybe that might get your mind going a little bit faster, or like, I need to do this, I need to do that for them. I love them. I want them to love me even more, or whatever. And then when you fight outside, or you're the B side, or the contender fighting the world champion, you're like, I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna go in there and do my job, and I have nothing to lose, it because I don't care if anybody watches me. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I'm just going there and do my thing. Yeah. So yeah, it kind of doesn't. You do feel it. You do kind of feel that.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, when they're booing the guy, the outsider, one thinks that I mean, it's a lot of pressure on him.
Absolutely.
But sometimes the underdog goes out with the victory, even though he has everything against him.
Well, I feel like when I'm the underdog, it's and you hear those boos, or like, he's gonna lose, he's gonna get knocked out. I could care less from the beginning what they were gonna say about me. It doesn't matter, because I know they're not for me in the first place. So what I've been thinking about lately in life too is like, what you know already. If you know what to expect about things, nothing's gonna bother you. Nothing's gonna hurt you. So you know, you go into that fight knowing that these people aren't gonna like you, or they're not for you, but you know you need to go in there and do your job. It makes the job a lot easier.
Yeah. What fuels your motor? What gives you the energy, the power to keep going and to stay on your path? What is your fuel?
That we're doing everything good. Everything's been going good for me. Besides that loss, but you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, I bought my house with that. You know, a lot of people say, yeah, he got knocked out, yeah, he got lost, but I bought a house. I bought a house, and now I don't have to pay for that for the rest of my life, you know? So I'm very happy about that. You know, everything's going good with life, you know? With whatever I do, if a good outcome comes out, that's what motivates me to continue to be good, or continue to do what I've been doing.
Yeah. I think we're in this life to learn. That's a big part of being here.
Yep.
So one loss, I think, teaches more than takes from you, right?
Absolutely.
Is there something that you think that you learned from that, or something that you did different?
It was not a learning experience. It was a reminder. Because a lot of times we need that too. A reminder. You cannot play boxing. You cannot get tired from throwing too much punches in the beginning of the fight, or lean forward with your hands down, because it's not a lucky punch. It's not a lucky punch. But you did make that mistake. You made a mistake. You gave him it. And that's your fault.
Yeah. But you came back you came back through the big door.
Yes. And I'm glad that our promoter Samson helped with that. Gave us we didn't get the rematch with Mendoza. but he got me the next best thing, 2 world titles. So, you know, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy. Thank you to Samson for that.
Do you like Mexico?
I love Mexico. I love Mexico. Every time we come over here, I feel like they show more love than where I'm from, especially this week. This week, we went to the Senate. They recognized me and my sister there. We just came back from the U.S. Embassy, and they recorded us with a further social media page. I feel like, I mean, I don't think it'll ever get to my head. I already know, and my dad will pull my ear or whatever if I ever get out of line. But I think we're a bigger deal here. We're a bigger deal here, and I love it. I love it. You know, that's part of the job. You have to love what you do, and Mexico City definitely feels like home here.
Yeah. And what do you think about that thing behind you, the green and gold belt? What do you think about it?
That's boxing. WBC is boxing, and my dad's always been instilled into our brains that WBC is everything good about boxing. You know, we have all these other belts and all these other things that are coming into boxing, like the social media stars or different type of boxing where they have these fighters fight for 1 round and they try to switch up the sport, make it a little different. But, you know, it's cool for now, but this is forever. The green and gold is forever. That's always going to be there. Just like boxing, if boxing ever goes away, then I guess that's gone. But before boxing or all that, you just got to remember that this was here the whole time, and it's always going to be here as long as boxing's a thing.
Yeah. Do you feel protected by the WBC?
Of course. I feel like they're family. Family, protected in a good way. Protected like my father protects me or my sister. You know, like they look out for the fighter. Mm-hmm. You know, they do their job and they do it well. They expand our time frame, whether it's we're in the ring or we're not, and they honor us the whole time. Like at the belt reveal yesterday, you see all these world champions, and they're all older already. Some of them can barely walk, but they're still there, and they're still honored by the WBC as if they fought yesterday. So, you know, it's a beautiful feeling.
Well, what do you think about Mauricio?
A great human being. There was one, when I was coming up as a professional, right now in my career, maybe after my 10th fight, I got a little video from Mauricio. My promoter sent it to me that he looks forward to my career in the future and that I will become world champion one day. Well, now we're world champion, and we ate dinner with him yesterday. We done the convention, and we're getting to know him a lot more, almost like me knowing my brothers or my siblings. That's how close I feel with are. And the whole family, like you as well, you know. And it's just a good feeling, you know. It feels like family. I look forward to seeing you guys every single time. Now I get to represent this belt for a second time, because I was interim champion before, but now as a world champion, I get to represent this belt, and I'm very, very honored, and I guarantee you guys I will represent it with pride.